You know the ones. You've definitely seen them on your morning commute, or maybe parked in the driveway of that brand new Colonial down the street. It's that gleaming, leather-trimmed truck, or the massive luxury SUV that honestly costs more than many people's first homes. And from the outside, the person behind the wheel looks like the absolute definition of success. But welcome to This Explainer, because today we're pulling back the curtain to uncover the staggering financial secret hiding right behind that blinding chrome finish. The reality is, we are living through a massive wealth illusion. You see regular people out there, teachers, nurses, office workers, driving these incredible luxury vehicles. And you really have to wonder, how on earth are they actually paying for this? Most of us just assume these buyers are secretly loaded, but they're not. These are regular people signing loan documents for vehicles that literally cost more than they earn in an entire year. Let's look at the raw reality here. And honestly, brace yourself. We've reached a point where the average new car payment has climbed past $700 a month. But for the trucks and SUVs that have basically become our social default, those payments routinely clear $900. And pushing past $1,200 a month? Yeah, that's no longer rare. Over the life of an 8-year loan, a single vehicle can cost a household over $80,000, and that is before a single drop of gas is even purchased. So let's get into Layer 1, the auto debt trap. We need to expose exactly how this works. The mystery of how people afford these insane payments actually isn't a mystery at all. It's a highly engineered system of financial gymnastics designed to make the impossible feel manageable. Dealerships stretch loan terms out to 7 or 8 years just to artificially lower that monthly number. But doing that inflates the total cost and leaves the buyer completely trapped in negative equity, meaning they owe way more than the car is actually worth. And that creates this perpetual financial hamster wheel. People just roll the negative equity from their current vehicles straight into a brand new loan. They're literally paying for cars they don't even own anymore. This perfectly illustrates the math behind the madness. Think about a typical $55,000 truck financed over 7 years. It doesn't just cost 55 grand. When you add in the bloated interest, the insurance, fuel, maintenance, it actually costs about $130,000 to operate. But here is the real tragedy. By making that $800 monthly payment, the buyer is torching $70,000 in wealth that could have been quietly building in the background if they had simply invested it instead. Which brings us to Layer 2, the psychological war. Because as you're about to see, this is way more than just a math problem. This whole situation didn't just happen by accident. Think about it. We live in a society that would stage a full-blown intervention for a friend with a $1,200 a month coffee habit. But when someone signs up for a $1,200 truck payment, society just nods and calls it reliable transportation. The automotive industry has triggered such a deep emotional attachment to vehicles that they aren't even selling transportation anymore. They are selling identities and social status. People have been conditioned to view stepping down into a cheaper, sensible vehicle not as a smart financial move, but as a direct, personal attack on their self-worth. Let's put some names to this and see how it plays out in the real world. Take Harry. Harry leases a $72,000 BMW, constantly renovates his house to keep up appearances, and is super stressed out. He finances the look of wealth, but is sitting on a net worth of around $312,000. Now contrast that with Liam. Liam drives a highly reliable $31,000 used Camry that he paid for in cash. He completely ignores the flashy upgrades, and because of that discipline, he holds nearly $2 million in true liquid wealth. Moving on to Layer 3, the illiquid millionaire. You think making a massive income solves this, right? Well, the trap actually scales right alongside your paycheck. It is truly alarming to look at this data. According to recent surveys, nearly 40% of households clearing over $500,000 a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. No, seriously, they are rich on paper but completely stuck in reality. Their standard of living has rapidly expanded to swallow up every single dollar of that massive income. So why does this happen? Well, it's because of something called the Diderot effect. It's a consumption cascade where one upgrade demands another. It goes like this. You earn a big raise, so you buy a better house. But suddenly, your old furniture looks totally out of place in the new living room, so you upgrade it. Then, your older car feels kind of embarrassing parked in that fancy new driveway. And suddenly, the whole neighborhood doesn't feel right unless you look the part. Before you even realize it, your standard of living has swallowed your entire raise. You become someone who grinds 60 hours a week to finance a look of wealth while possessing zero actual freedom. And when you're trapped in this cycle, your brain operates strictly in survival mode. In this state, every single financial choice you make is filtered through fear and scarcity. You actually lose the capacity to think about long-term growth because you are just too busy putting out immediate financial fires. You stay in toxic jobs because, well, you need that next check to keep the lights on. You take bad deals because you literally cannot afford to wait for better ones. Your car, your house, your entire lifestyle, they become heavy anchors dragging you backwards, and you find yourself raiding retirement accounts or borrowing against your home just to keep all the plates spinning.
Okay, so here's the core. Breaking out and the $20,000 tipping point. How do we actually escape this survival mode?
Most financial gurus out there will tell you that you need $1 million to be truly free. But honestly, the secret is actually a highly specific, totally achievable mathematical threshold, $20,000. $20,000 is the first major tipping point, where the momentum of wealth building finally crests the hill. It's that magical moment where gravity stops fighting against you and starts pulling heavily in your favor.
Hitting this $20,000 mark provides what we call walking away money. It gives your brain the breathing room it desperately needs to stop reacting and start strategizing. It clears your headspace. It turns massive financial emergencies into minor inconveniences. It gives you the undeniable power to negotiate from a position of strength at work, or jump on investment opportunities you couldn't reach before. It is the literal seed that, if you just leave it to compound, grows into a trajectory-changing fortune for your family. And the true magic here is the shrinking timeline of compound interest. Let's say you're investing $1,000 a month. Your first $20,000 takes about 19 months of genuine, hard-nosed discipline. But because of compound interest, your second $20,000 takes only 17 months. And eventually, once your portfolio reaches around $400,000, your investments will automatically generate that same $20,000 in just 5 months without you lifting a single finger. Once your brain is completely rewired by hitting that savings milestone, you rethink opportunity cost entirely. You start to realize that a $30,000 car is not just $30,000. No way. It is the $200,000 that money could have become if it were invested over the long term, instead of being torched on a rapidly depreciating asset just sitting on some dealership lot. Real wealth requires immense discipline. It requires the ability to look at the shiny objects everyone else is so eagerly financing and just say, no. The most successful people out there aren't the ones with the flashiest driveways. They're the ones who understand that the real enemies of wealth are the slow creeps and the emotional decisions we make when the dollar amounts get large. They choose the actual freedom of a reliable used car and a growing investment account over the massive stress of a $900 monthly payment. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one direct question. What are you going to choose? Are you going to continue trading away hundreds of thousands of dollars in future wealth just for the immediate experience of driving a depreciating asset with a moonroof? Or are you ready to reject the illusion of wealth today, start building your $20,000 escape route, and step into the reality of true freedom tomorrow? The choice is entirely yours.